Hello and welcome to the weekly wind-up with me, Helen Ashcroft. Almost 8,000 jobs in UK libraries have disappeared in 6 years, about a quarter of the overall total, an investigation by the BBC has revealed. Over the same period, some 15,500 volunteers have been recruited and 343 libraries have closed, leading to fears over the future of this profession. Children's author Alan Gibbons said the public library service faced the greatest crisis in its history. A further 174 libraries have been transferred to community groups, while 50 have been handed to external organisations to run. In some areas such as Lincolnshire and Surrey, the move has led to legal challenges and protests from residents. So what's the situation in Kirklees? In our studio today is Carol Stump, Head Librarian for the Kirklees Libraries. Hello, Carol.
Hello. Hi.
Now, in September 2015, the Examiner reported on the Council's plans for library closures. 8 libraries will continue to be funded, 2 will close. 16 to be run by the Council employees backed by community volunteers. And the mobile library service is to be scrapped. So, let's have a bit of a discussion over this then, Carol. I'm going to start with the mobile library service. Is that still running?
No, the mobile library service closed at the end of March.
Right.
So actually the mobiles are off the road now. What we've done is we've had a consultation with the people who use the mobile service and the people who can't access us by any other means, in other words, they can't get to our static libraries, our buildings, we've offered them the home service library. So we've got a bit of an enhanced home service library offer for people who couldn't access us by any other means. And we've obviously introduced people to our buildings, our static libraries. So what the home library service does is it goes into people's homes with books and with information, and it's kind of a more personalised service for people who can't get out of their homes for one reason or another. It could be because they're elderly, it could be that they just use us for a few months because they've had some kind of event in their life that means they can't access us. So that service is very much still there.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So what's happened to the library, the mobile library staff then?
The mobile library staff, some of them have chosen to take voluntary redundancy.
Yeah.
And the ones who are staying already delivered the home service, so some will be continuing to do the home service.
Right.
We are reducing our staffing, so if I take you back a little bit, our budget was £6 million to deliver 26 libraries, mobile service, home service, tourist information centre, all that kind of thing that came with it. A great majority of that budget was staffing.
Yeah.
So when we knew that our budget was going to be reduced to 3.9 million, we had to look at different ways of delivering our service. And we've been absolutely thrilled that we've got communities coming forward to work alongside us to do that. So our staffing budget is reduced and we will lose 88 full-time equivalent members of staff, or have lost some of those already.
Right.
We are lucky in that we have not made anybody compulsory redundant.
Right.
Some people have gone on to other jobs within the authority. Some people have chosen to leave. Some people have chose voluntary redundancy and will leave us either, some have left already at the end of March and some will leave us at the end of September.
So how's the morale with the staff if this has been going on for so long and still continues?
Yes, that is hard to keep up staff morale.
Yeah.
We have just started with the interview process for the new posts. So we started with some senior manager interviews. We've reduced all levels of staffing, so we've reduced from management down, so area managers, librarians, the people that you see working in the buildings themselves, the frontline staff, the reduction at all those levels. So we've actually started that process.
So it is the managers as well, because there's an awful lot said that the managers stay where they are, but the people on the cold face, so to speak, all disappear.
No. We've lost in the past. 4 years ago when I got my post, we lost nearly 60% of the management then.
Right.
We've also reduced now, so just to give you an example, we had 3 area managers looking after the 26 libraries. We've gone down to 2. We've reduced development librarians and librarian level.
Yes.
The customer service management level, it's all reduced, so it's every single level of staff.
Are the volunteers and the library staff that are potentially losing the jobs, are they working together?
All our libraries are council funded.
Right.
So we've got what's called town libraries where we will staff them with more than one member of staff. So it could be 2, could be 3, depending on size.
Yes.
So your Huddersfields, your Dewsburys, your Batterleys, etc. And then we've got 16 community supported libraries that are still funded by the council.
Right.
So we're still providing books, IT, all those resources, and 1 member of staff during the opening hours. And that is when volunteers will work side by side with staff.
Okay.
But even in the bigger town libraries, we've got friends of groups in nearly every library. We've got volunteers working every library. So we've got a full volunteer training package. So when you say staff losing their jobs, what we've managed to do is avoid compulsory redundancies, which has helped a little with morale. I mean, don't get me wrong, staff feel that obviously we've had a big cut to our service and staff are disappointed by that, but we're not the only service that's happened to.
No, I appreciate it's throughout the council.
And so we've had to, you know, look at, as I said, different ways of delivering the service. We've got some real fantastic people come forward from the community. We've got some really strong friends of groups, friends of library groups, some real good volunteers who are bringing lots of skills. So we may have ex-librarians who are happy to do story times and that kind of thing, but we may have somebody who's never worked in a library before who just wants to, you know, help out with an event. So they are really, really enhancing the service.
However large or small your business, attracting new customers requires dedication and a lot of patience. Just like fishing, but you also need the right gear. Rods, reels, lines, hooks,
sinkers, lures, tackle box, tackle bag, net, bait, gas gloves, clothes, pocket knife, lunch.
Or you could simply advertise with KLTV. Online, grow your business and your clientele. KLTV, your vision made reality. Should have gone to KLTV.
Are all libraries in Kirklees still open?
No, we did close we closed our mobiles, which we've discussed, and we did close 2 of our libraries at Thornhill-Lees and at Lepton, and that was more about, they were some of our lowest used libraries, but also about whether the community came forward to help us. What Lepton have decided to do is actually have a couple of book drops in Lepton rather than a library. So there's a book, what we call a book drop is where it's just a collection of books that people can take in, take out. We give those books to the community. So there's one in the Sun Inn at Lepton, and there's one in the Methodist Church at Lepton as well. So these are the community groups that have come forward and said, actually, we would like to have a collection of books. In the Sun Inn at Lepton, they've actually put a couple of computers in as well.
What happens to those people, although there might have been few, what happens to those? Because if there isn't a library there...
So what we've looked at, obviously it's disappointing for people, and Thornhill-Lees was used by quite a lot of children in the area. So we've had some funding to look at ways of encouraging the children to use different libraries. So whilst it's disappointing, we have done some work in the communities around that.
And are any more libraries set to close?
No, not in the immediate future. Of course, I have no crystal ball, and I don't know what the budget might look like in 2 or 3 years' time. But as long as volunteers remain with us, we can sustain the 24 libraries that we're left with.
So do you foresee the future as being just libraries staffed by volunteers with no member of staff there?
That's one of the things that was loud and clear from the community, that they did not want that to happen. And so Cabinet have made a decision that won't happen. So we have community supported libraries that will have at least a member of paid staff in.
Brilliant.
And the town libraries, obviously, as I said, will have more members of staff, but we do not foresee handing over to the community. Some of the buildings might be handed over to the community,
Yes.
but our service can run from any building.
Okay.
That's what we're saying, as long as it's got suitable space.
So it might be that you're actually moving the library facility to another situation within the same area.
Just to give you an example, at Home Firth there were two service points. There was a tourist information centre,
Yes.
there was the Home Firth Library.
Yeah.
We've actually now co-located the tourist information centre in with the library.
Right.
Saves on building costs for the council, saves on staffing costs, and is a good offer for the people of Home Firth. At Meltham, where we were based in the town hall, we've moved into the Carlisle Institute, which is
across
a
the road.
yes, exactly,
Yes.
which is a community-run facility, and we're part of that building now. So there's lots of opportunities that we can keep looking at as well.
Brilliant.
So we need to keep those options open.
Okay, so just to finish, if somebody was interested in becoming a volunteer in the library, how would they go about that?
If going to their local library
Okay.
or the main library, whichever library they want to do,
Yeah.
there are forms to fill in. You can even ring the library number, so that that's on the website. You could ring up.
What website is that?
If you go onto the Kirklees website and then onto the library's page, there'll be a contact number. There'll be a frontline services contact number that you can ring, and we can talk to people. Or just go into your local library, fill a form in. We'd really welcome you through the door.
That's good to hear. Well, thank you ever so much, Carol, for coming on today and answering the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Join us on Wednesday for Huddersfield's Got Talent. Now, if you'd like to comment on this article, please contact us on Twitter at The Weekly Windup and also on Facebook. Or you can email us at info@kirkleeslocaltv.com. So that's goodbye from me. Thank you.